This is Toledo Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell. Joining me today are the Toledo Symphony's president and CEO, Zach Vassar, TSO Marketing Director, Vanessa Gardner, and by phone, we have our Music Director, Elaine Trudell, and a very special guest. All together now. That is Matthew Killam, who is the Community Outreach Director of the Metroparks. We all love the Metroparks so much. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for the timely baseball music. It does feel like opening day all over in some regards. So thanks for inviting me on the show.
Yeah, and I totally made that connection when I came up with the fanfare. So that was.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you absolutely got exactly what I was intending.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know you were a basketball fan.
Yeah. Well, Matt is here. I can call you Matt, right?
Yes.
He usually makes me call him Sir.
Okay, Sir Matt.
No, just Sir.
Okay, Matt.
Thank you, Sir.
Yeah.
Right.
I sent away for my sirship. So I'll let you know when I get that certificate. It's only $40, which is a real bargain.
Nice.
Canadian.
So, that's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Yay! Oh well. We should note that Merwin is not here, but we do have Elaine. So
who is a Knight of the Canadian Order or whatever they call it? Yeah. So Lord Alain.
Okay.
Did you just beat me?
I did. I tried, and then it failed. It was half a beep.
That was such a little beep. That was like on the old demonstrations you would do in elementary school where it was time to turn the page when it would make the sound. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Now let's get back. Let's get back on the rails here.
Were we on them?
No, there's no editing.
No editing.
This is all going on.
There's no editing in baseball.
Yeah, there's no editing in baseball.
This show is about Canadian baseball. Do I have that right?
Yes, Canadian baseball.
So how long have you been an Expos fan?
My whole life.
Okay, I'm sure that was funny to some people. I don't know.
Short-lived.
Not over here.
Yeah, right.
Yes, Canadian sports. Okay.
That one hits hard.
I feel the spirit of Merwin hovering over the room, even though he's not here, you know.
Well, he hasn't died. I mean, he's just taking the day off.
I'm sure that he would have something to say.
I feel so inadequate.
Anyway, can we talk about why Matt is here?
Yes.
Can we talk about anything?
He's here for this. He's doing this concert.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's doing a concert?
Everybody took a deep breath.
What instrument?
He is emceeing this concert. He's an MC, a co-MC, I should say, along with, who are you along with in this venture, Matt? It's
Allie Effler.
Allie Effler,
yeah.
Right. She's director of philanthropy.
That's correct.
So you're emceeing the concert, which means that you're going to talk a little bit between these musical selections. It's all a salute to the Metroparks. It is music from nature. And you even have a poem I know you prepared, but let's talk about you first, Matt, and get your story. We can hear a little bit about you. I've got some music. Okay, we'll give you a nice little waltz.
Gotcha.
A waltz through the park.
Yes, all right, go for it.
I'm a Toledo native. I moved back about 6 years ago with my then girlfriend, now wife. I grew up in the parks, so serving them in Lucas County is a dream come true for me. So it's been a great few years. I have two little girls who now play at Wildwood as I did. So, you know, it sounds trite, but it's certainly true. This is a dream job for me. And working with the Symphony and our other cultural leaders is just a synergy that I think may have not been present years prior. So this has been really exciting. And in a time where we didn't have a lot of things to be excited about, certainly in 2020, I can't thank you all enough for reaching out and working with us and holding our hands and making this the best program possible. So I'm here as excited to talk about your input in this space as I am about the Metroparks. This is really an exciting program. So thanks so much to the whole team.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
Sounds like they're all here.
Yeah. They are. The whole team is here.
Yeah. All right.
I do want to say, though, that the Metroparks has been like a saving grace during the pandemic. The ability to go out and spend time in nature. I mean, I've done it. I'm sure we've all gone out there, and it's been a sanctuary for so many of us. So it's wonderful to see this synthesis of music and nature.
And let's talk a little bit how we're doing that, because it might not be obvious to those who are listening.
Okay, let me pull up some other music for you, Zach. Here we go.
Well, this happens to be what opens the entire program. So the music is all oriented around nature, but then we'll have videos and photographs taken from our Metroparks on large screens in the peristyle, so that we'll be able to celebrate the beauty that surrounds us as well as the beauty that we're hearing from the musicians.
Yeah. Vanessa, you have a Metroparks story. I mean, you're a regular goer there, aren't you?
I do go pretty regularly. My New Year's resolution was to walk or bike all of the paths in all of the Metroparks, and I am very low in accomplishing that, but I do try. But I take my dogs, and one of my dogs just can't be. She can't go out in public, and so we're working on that.
I have a kid like that.
But Vanessa, you mean like it has to go to, your dog has to go to dog school, right?
Yeah,
or
my dog is
school.
in dog school.
You can't that it can't go out in public because it's embarrassing or something. I mean,
No, it's a very bad dog.
Yeah.
No, we went to Swan Creek for a training session a couple of days ago, and we didn't leave the parking lot. So
okay, that's all right. Baby steps.
Matt's over here saying, "Oh, you were the one."
Yeah.
We heard about
I
you.
just want to make sure I send your ticket to the right address.
There was definitely an excursion to Sidecut where people were talking about us at the dinner table that night, for sure.
Sure.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah, it was.
We're making memories, one way or the other, right?
Someone suggested I go take video of walking my dogs in the Metropark to contribute to this program, and I just laughed.
Oh, for the concert.
This is supposed to be pro Metroparks, encouraging people to utilize them.
Yes.
Just a reminder to spay and neuter your pet.
Thanks, Bob Barker.
Hey, Matt, can you give us a sense of the Metroparks? Because I mean, some of us tend to like gravitate towards one of them. Like I go to Wildwood all the time, but there are so many, and it's still growing. I mean, can you talk a little bit about the scope of the Metroparks in our community?
I'd love to. Yeah, and you mentioned something in this past calendar year to give some perspective of our usage. In 2016, the park system had 3.7 million visits to it, which is an incredible figure considering we have about 420 to 428,000 Lucas County residents. 2019, we had 5.5 million visitors and users, and we were over the moon with that. Last year in 2020, we were just under 7 million. So part of that, due to COVID and us being one of the only games in town, but it did give us an opportunity to revisit the connection of people and nature. We met new friends, reinvigorated old. The park system is 90 years old, and as of about 10 years ago, it had 9 parks, which were exceptionally well run and well supported by Lucas County. We're now up to 19, and that doesn't include use areas like Beach Ridge, the home of our Treehouse Village and our single-track training course. So the park system looks very different than it did the majority of its lifetime, if you will. And a lot of that is based on interest, right? We don't do unless we're told to by those we serve, being Lucas County residents. So we have about 190 miles of trail. So Vanessa, you've got a full year ahead of you.
Probably got about 185 miles left.
That's okay. That's right.
I was going to say, I think I'm covered.
No, actually, I've done more than 5 miles. I know that.
Yeah.
And we've got it's about 12,000 acres, 12,000 plus acres that we steward. And I think that it's interesting component of that is we adhere to an 80-20 split, meaning we only activate 20% of the land we steward. And in all transparency, we don't get close to that 20% with the exception of our river parks. We count the rivers activated. So the majority of that is the 80% is all conservation. So we are delivering clean water, breathable air, to everyone in Lucas County, and we're proud to do it. But you mentioned something else. We do have 19 parks, and with the opening of Manhattan Marsh this past year, we have a park within 5 miles of every Lucas County resident. And to our knowledge, in an exhaustive Google search, we're one of the only park systems in the country that can be boastful in that way. So we do want people to explore. We do want people to get outside themselves and recreate and be out in nature. But we found that people do have a park that's theirs. I'm calling you right now from Wildwood also. And this is a place that I played with my grandparents. I was with them at least one day a week when I was a kid growing up. And this is the only place I can really still visit them, right? So the Killams aren't campers. We are not hardcore, thrill seekers. We don't hunt, but we do play outside, and it feels great to be able to be a conduit for kids who are experiencing that exact same thing in Wildwood today with grandparents or loved ones or partners or what have you. So that's we are a conservation agency, right? So we are about clean water and planting trees and breathable air. But we do want to dupe you into caring about it. So we try to build a hotel in the clouds right out in Swanton, the Treehouse Village. We'll build a mountain bike course in this flattest place on earth. We will plan goat yoga if we have to. The key is we want to get people to have experiences in the outdoors, and people generally care about or embrace things that they have experiences in. So it's my job and my team's job to create those experiences and a long-lasting appreciation and love for Northwest Ohio. So in all sincerity, the partnership we have with the Symphony, not just in the cultural space, but delivers on experiences to have and memories that have gone by. So it'll be a great night, or several nights to celebrate. And this is just another way for us both to deliver a message, right? So
and actually, sorry, I didn't mean to take away from you.
That's okay.
Way to interrupt the live La Paz.
We were clapping for Matt, not for you.
That's an important distinction. Thank you. I can tell by the clapping it was for me and sincere.
The relationship goes beyond just this event that we have coming up. I mean, last year, in the middle of the pandemic, the Toledo Ballet did their summer intensives out in Wildwood, I think. So, that was a perfect example of a way to utilize some of our natural resources and, keep doing what we do and keep our mission alive while utilizing that space. So,
I remember there was also a chamber music camp down at the Middle Grounds Metropark.
Correct.
And some of the photographs and videos that came from those final performances and recitals, it was just great to see the city landscape behind.
Blue skies.
Yeah. And you think about, if you take those two examples, the summer intensives and the chamber camp, these are all students who are trying to find some sort of refuge during the pandemic. These are programs that otherwise would have been canceled due to space restrictions indoors. But through great collaboration, we were able to continue offering them and give these wonderful children an opportunity to truly, as Matt said, get outside themselves, get outside and practice something that gave them pride and value. So during the pandemic, those are the most important projects that we could activate.
Well, let's get Elaine in on this call. I know you're sitting there patiently, kind of lurking in the background, Elaine. But maybe you can talk a little bit as somebody who came here from the outside, as it were. You haven't grown up in Toledo, obviously. But and I assume they got parks in Canada. But can you talk a little bit about your impressions of this whole Metropark system and how it has worked with the Symphony?
I've been super impressed. I mean, of course, I didn't know really what to expect because my first time in Toledo was about 10, 12 years ago. And all I did was, I remember I conducted Sherazade, and I came over. I was downtown with buildings, and if you place yourself about 10 years ago, we were at the beginning of this kind of rejuvenation and reawakening, and for me, it was my first time in so many buildings that were closed and things like that. I was like, I couldn't really get a grasp of it. And then when I came back, I heard about the Metroparks, and I went like, okay, because this is more my speed. I used to live in the countryside, and so I said, okay, I'll check it out. So I went to check out my Wildwood, of course, and then with Madeleine, I went to what's the name of that? Is it Swan Creek?
Yeah.
With all the little games of the water there and all. Anyway, so and of course the only one I knew was the middle grounds and all those, but I've been a million times through those because no, but I mean you can. It's not just one little bit, right? You can go from one end to the other end. So it's like anyway, for me it's a discovery every time. I try to go to a different one, almost every time, but there's so many. It's exactly like Matt was saying. I mean, you start, they were 9, and now it's like there's going to be 20. It's like okay, I just got to keep up.
Yeah.
So it's great because at the beginning I was thinking, is there anything? And then I'm thinking, can I keep up with what's going on? So that's a very, very positive thing to happen. So for me that used to live really more in the countryside, that's fantastic because you have the best of both worlds. That's basically Toledo is like. You get the best of both worlds because you can be in an amazing museum. Of course, the science place downtown, which I go with Madeleine. I see Zach very often there with his kids. But and then you can be in the parks, and then you can be this great quality of life, and it just adds to that. I think people are really looking for that. And with the pandemic, well, there's no, this has been it's not just the lung of the city. It's been a saving grace for everybody.
Yeah, you can also go see a pretty good symphony. I've heard living in Toledo.
Oh yeah. Well, musicians and composers and artists, they're inspired by nature mostly.
Yeah. Well, you think of Beethoven.
Yeah, but it's not just a trivia question, or it's actually the real fact. I mean, you need to go out there and work on the why, not just on the how,
That's well said. Absolutely.
Well, Beethoven, wrote that entire pastoral symphony, and he was inspired by his walks through the woods in Vienna. I read a story somewhere that actually the opening theme from his Fifth Symphony, that da-da-da-da.
Never heard of it.
To do that one again?
Da-da-da-da. That's not going on my soundboard, I'm just saying.
You want Madeleine to do it?
And unless Madeleine can do it for us. But that theory, that song, that theme, we think of as like, fate knocking on the door. But I've also read that it's just the call of a bird that Beethoven heard when he was out walking around Vienna. A little bird song that went dee-dee-dee-dee. Right, and he turned that into the Fifth Symphony.
Rather ferocious adaptation.
That's my story.
Matt,
I'm sticking to it.
Any idea what bird that could have been, Matt?
Yes, that is a pterodactyl.
Excellent.
Thanks for asking.
Excellent.
You know about birds is that common birds for one community is exotic bird for another. One of my favorite composers, Olivier Messiaen, and you take Olivier Messiaen, he talks about like a blue jay or cardinal. And he said those are incredibly exotic birds, not for us, right?
Yeah.
But it's sometimes we think our ordinary, we don't notice that our ordinary is extraordinary to other people. Mm-hmm. We only think of extraordinary things as things that are far away, but we have many extraordinary things right next to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's a timely sentiment. And again, we are forced to go outdoors, right? In the past year, it was one of the only places that we could gather safely, and was also one of the only places where we could get away from the people who were in lockdown.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But with that need, I think there was an reintroduction to the ordinary and extraordinary in Lucas County. So, I am not I just gave you all the birding information I have, so now you know that you don't have a naturalist on the line. But I have also explored the parks that I serve in the last year, and there's rivers, there's fishing, there's benches for places just to sit and be alone, or a shelter to be with others that you can't be with in any other way. So I think it has been both an ordinary and extraordinary year to reinvigorate our missions all together. right?
Yep.
It's been a great opportunity.
Well, right now, I mean, we're all getting spring fever because we're waiting
Yes.
for the weather to turn. And then we're also sort of, people are getting vaccinated and we're looking for light at the end of the tunnel with COVID. So I think everybody is really, really primed to get outdoors and to get out there and use the Metroparks even more than before. So this concert is, I think, a timely offering from the Symphony to the Metroparks and speaks to the collaboration between the two. Zach, you want to say anything about like how the Symphony has worked with the Metroparks in the past, or things that stick out in memory?
Well, I think that the spirit of the relationship is very positive, particularly being able to phone Matt. I'm sorry, Sir.
Sir Matt. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And say we have an idea. I remember writing a note to you and Dave, Matt, just about this concert. Like, so here's an idea. You don't have to say yes, but let me just float it out there. And it was around Christmas time, I think, that I'd sent this, and the answer is, never no. It's like, what a fun idea. Let's talk about this. And I love these sort of productive collaborations where we can road test ideas and come up with something that's really special. So, it's a great asset for our community to have these Metroparks, as we've been discussing. But the opportunity to really feel like there's shared beauty and appreciation and conservation and preservation in our shared missions as well. I think it's a beautiful relationship.
Well, you're bringing the Metroparks into the peristyle with the Symphony for this concert, and
without any sod.
Yes, without any
We're
sod.
going to release tens of hundreds of birds, so
Yes, pterodactyls. We're looking forward to the.
Stay in your lane, Brad.
That's right. I'm not the expert here at anything, as we all know, as we've proven over the last few years.
Grace is going to give a lecture on pterodactyls.
That's probably true, yeah.
But there's pictures, there's video, there's poetry, Matt, that you wrote for this. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Along with the music, I want to mention that there's a wonderful piece here by Evan Chambers, who is a composer on faculty at University of Michigan. Evan has this fantastic pedigree in like folk music and in world music, and a lot of his music has natural connections or connections to nature. So this is a great piece called Four Sacred Places, and the four movements are four different places in and around Toledo. What brought you to Evan Chambers? How did this come up?
This was a commission which predated my arrival at the Symphony, but it's a fantastic piece which has quotes from birds, pterodactyls. You hear frogs.
There's one right there.
You hear Mozart's laugh.
Yes.
But it's one of these really beautiful pastoral works that actually incorporates the sounds of nature and our present habitat into the music. So it has that sense of like folk inspiration, but also layers of sound and nature that are really inspirational. And when you think about it being written for our surroundings, it's not something that was written for mountains in Montana. It was for our black swamp here, and the music feels very much at home. And it's a work we've performed just once or twice, and the times I've heard it, it's continually renewing.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm really excited about this particular performance is we are so honored and fortunate to have so much of Art Weber's photography to go along with this particular piece. And he just has some stunning photography and captures of, frogs and, all of these birds and foxes in winter and the ice and bird's eye views of just the most amazing scenery. So I think it'll be really beautiful.
Wonderful. We do want to mention that the concert is happening this weekend. It is Forces of Nature. The TSO celebrates Metroparks Toledo Friday night, Saturday night, both at 8 o'clock p.m., but streaming on Saturday night.
Yep.
And you're welcoming live audiences in, as you have been. People can find more information at ToledoSymphony.com or call the box office at 419-246-8000. And if you want to stream all those concerts that are still up there, you can do that at stream.artstoledo.com. All right, Matt, we mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if we were on the air yet, but you are a Symphony Lab newbie. So one of the things that we do with newbies, besides asking them to tell their story, is inviting them to participate in our quiz.
Oh, God.
Don't worry,
So-
Merwin's already won, so no
you know,
pressure.
Of course you did.
This is going to be a flash round because this may be something that you know, Matt. I don't know if this falls within your purview of study, but this is a quiz on collective nouns. You all know what a collective noun is,
Yes.
right?
Yep,
so
I'm ready.
We have
That
like
makes one of us.
a murder of crows, a herd
Yep,
of
I'm in.
cattle, a school of fish. So I'm going to give you the noun and 3 choices, and you tell me which of the choices is right. Let me pull up some happy animal music here. Where's that
I
happy
better hear a
animal?
cow mooing.
There we go. Okay, that sounds like happy animals, right?
No cows.
Okay.
Yet.
Your first one, army. Is it ants, caterpillars, or bees?
Ants.
Ants.
Gonna win this.
Oh, I thought that was the answer.
Oh,
No.
wait, we're talking about collective.
Yes.
Collective
Oh.
nouns.
An army of ants. Yeah.
Army of ants, an army of caterpillars, or an army of
Well,
bees?
it's not ants. We learned that one.
I'm going to say it is army of caterpillars.
Yes, and the expert gets a point.
Wow.
That's Matt. Next one, obstinacy. Is that an obstinacy of buffaloes, boars, or bulls?
It's an FC of
Buffalo?
buffalo. It's buffalo.
All right, 2 for 2.
You're not sitting at your computer Googling this, I hope.
I'm not. I
Yeah, liar.
I spend a lot of time Googling things that have no interest to anyone else. So I
Yeah.
have looked.
That's usually most of our quizzes.
Yeah.
So you're well prepared for this podcast, is what you're saying.
I spent the last month preparing for anything that this quiz could give me.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, our next one is zeal, Z-E-A-L. A zeal of bats, a zeal of chimpanzees, or a zeal of zebras?
It's going to be chimpanzees.
Oh, your
Got it.
first buzzer.
Zebras.
Bats.
It's a zeal of zebras. I don't know who made up all these names, but some of them are quite alliterative, so it's funny. A juree of turkeys, a juree of squirrels, or a
Squirrel.
juree of bats. You got it. I guess you know a lot about squirrels and pterodactyls, right?
More than any man should, and that's all the more information I want to talk about today.
Okay. No more squirrels on the quiz.
That's right.
All right, let me take out that squirrel question. Here we go. A fever of sharks, a fever of dolphins, or a fever of stingrays?
Stingrays.
Wow.
Wow.
Peggy Lee
Amazing.
had nothing on the stingrays.
I feel like we, Madeline,
I love this one.
you could do better than this guy.
A bloat, B-L-O-A-T, a bloat
Of Killam's.
of what?
Kill him.
A bloat of Killam's after Thanksgiving meal, yes. A bloat of porcupines, a bloat of hippopotami, or a bloat of rhinoceroses?
Good Lord. I'll say rhinoceros.
Hippopotami?
Yeah,
All right.
hippopotami. A cast of falcons, a cast of eagles, or a cast of hawks?
Thousands.
A what?
Thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah, it's a cast of thousands.
No. That's a buzzer.
Sorry,
You're
what was
close.
What were my choices again? I'm sorry. Cast of eagles?
Falcons, eagles,
I'll
or
go
hawks?
falcons.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, eagles are a congress and hawks are a boil.
Oh, a boy. All right.
Okay, a drove of donkeys, mules, or camels?
Camels. Oof.
No, not camels.
with
That's
drove of donkeys?
Mules.
Camels are a caravan.
Mules.
Ah.
That one.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Actually, that was for Zach.
Sorry,
Here,
Vanessa.
just so you don't feel left out. There you go.
There we go.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
We're getting there. We're zipping
Good
right
job,
through
Vanessa.
this. How about a labor of guinea pigs, of moles, or of gerbils? A
It's
labor.
Gerbils.
Guinea pigs.
I mean,
All right, go for it, Matt.
Do you remember what it was?
If I still guess this wrong, what do I win?
It's happened before.
Moles? I'm going to go with mole.
Yes.
That is a group of 3 creatures that people could not care less of. Getting them to
Yeah.
guess.
Or probably distinguish.
Along with squirrels and pterodactyls.
That's right.
I care about squirrels a great deal.
There you go.
Right. Okay, an unkindness. Is it an unkindness of skunks, mosquitoes, or ravens? Oh, I didn't. You know what? I didn't write down which this one is, so just say whatever you want. Ravens? Okay, we'll give it to
I'm pretty sure it's ravens.
Participants.
Yeah, I
on
think
this
it is, too.
podcast.
But
Yeah, right.
I forgot to write it down. I was relying on my memory, which is never a good thing to do. Okay. A leap of lizards, a leap of leopards, or a leap of lions?
Leopards.
Whoops. There we go. Yes. Boy, Matt, you are really in the lead here. I don't think
Killam
anybody.
in it.
Okay.
I'm Googling these as fast as I can.
Now,
Could you
now
speak a little
we're-
more slowly,
We're
please?
just going through the motions here because, it's obvious who won. I've got 4 of these left. A mischief of moose. Moose. Moose is plural for moose, right?
Especially in Canada.
Okay, we are an educational podcast. Moose, eh? Okay, a mischief of mice, moose, or meerkats?
Meerkats.
No.
Mice.
What'd you say, Vanessa?
Mice.
And you get
Right,
a yay. All right, V. Okay, barrel. A barrel of weasels, a barrel of badgers, or a barrel of monkeys?
A barrel of monkeys.
How'd you know that?
It's an old game.
Do you
Well,
remember,
yeah, it's a
on
game,
my
but-
first podcast we talked about weasels?
Barrel of Weasels was my first band name.
Barrel of weasels.
It was not real. It didn't go real well. We can just leave it at that.
Nice. There's your band's first song right
Wow.
there.
That's
Okay.
outstanding.
A crash of porcupines, a crash of guinea pigs, or a crash of rhinoceroses?
Rhinoceroses.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, here's your last one. A wisdom. A wisdom of wombats, a wisdom of walruses, or a wisdom of whales?
A wisdom of Merwin not coming today.
All right.
For Elaine.
Elaine gets that one.
It's a write-in vote.
Yes. It actually was wombats, but I'm going to go with
Oh,
it.
wombats are so cute.
What is the
So-
collective noun for music directors?
I don't know. I'm counting here. Hang on.
I don't think
That's
they're
what
allowed to. They're not allowed to gather.
They
I think that's,
gather.
yeah, that's so.
They can't. They're,
Well played.
yes.
Oh, I love
Yes, indeed. Well, I
Yep.
mean, we know, like, in Carnival of the Animals, there's pianists,
Right.
So there are other musicians that are considered animals.
Have you guys
Sure.
heard of the hippopotamus and rhinoceros?
I have not.
Not until now.
Well, you're
Would
just
you
gonna
like
have
to tell us more?
Nope.
Oh.
You're just gonna have to Google it.
So much for
Okay.
being an educational podcast.
So
I'm just
the
a
winner-
provocative one.
The winner of the
Are you talking about
quiz.
the fight of the Concorde?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a Canadian thing?
Oh, see, I knew
No,
Elaine and I were
it's,
kindred spirits.
Okay, so hang on, guys. The winner of the quiz is. Wait, what's your name again? Matt. Matt is the winner.
Sir
Yay.
Matt Killam.
Matt Killam. You've never been called Killam Matt, though, right? They've never gotten that mixed up, I imagine.
No, nope, this first time.
Can't kill him, must join him. Yep.
That's right.
The very first time.
If you can't kill him, join him.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun, and we learned all about
Wow,
collective
that makes you
nouns,
laugh.
right? We learned all about collective nouns, so we fulfilled our educational aspect of the podcast today.
When? Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, about 10 minutes before we started, I sent you all an email and,
Yes.
and asked you to tell us your favorite nature poem, that
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yes.
And Merwin responded with an entire poem that he made based on, well, I guess it's based on Robert Frost, yeah, that he turned into a poem about Thai food, which I'm totally not going to read right now.
This is what he can do in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
I suspect he may have done it before, but it's interesting. I'm wondering if you guys have any favorite poems you want to talk about? that have to do with nature? Zach, you got
Sure.
something?
Yeah,
Hang on a second. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will say that I've always loved the Keats Odes, and his Ode to Autumn has always been a favorite of mine.
Here, let me find something else that's better for this. Okay, hang on. Here we go.
Let me know when you're ready, Brad.
I'm ready. Okay, take 2. A John Keats poem.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of his odes, and his Ode to Autumn has always been one of my favorites because as you go from season to season, there's always this sense of transition, and I think he captures these remarkable points in nature as the world is cooling and becoming more colorful, and we see the light of the day changing, and it's always filled me with this wonderful sense of nature. But it opens up as introducing it as the season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, and I always think that's a wonderful way to think about our surroundings at that time of year.
Yeah. I know, Matt, you're doing a poem on this concert. What is the poem exactly? Is something that you wrote?
I did, yes. Also equally proud to say that it was a collaboration with my father, who is a really talented writer, and he deals in precision, and his son does not. So it was nice to bounce it off him and work down into what we have and will be presenting to our audiences this weekend. And it's a story about a treehouse, but it's really a conversation about being young again and exploration. So it's at the risk of sounding overly dramatic, it causes me to tear more frequently than it doesn't. It reminds me of obviously I'm lucky to have a great relationship with him, but I really did grow up playing in the parks that I now served, and it feels pretty great all the time. So
yeah, I think I picked the perfect music for this story.
Yeah, man alive, how about it?
Yeah. Well, we want to mention again that the concert is happening this weekend, as we've said. This is Forces of Nature, Metroparks Toledo and Toledo Symphony teaming up for this multimedia program at the Peristyle, happening Friday and Saturday night, both performances at 8 o'clock p.m. More information at toledosymphony.com. The Saturday night show will be streaming. If you can't get tickets to sit in the theater, you can still watch the program at stream.artstoledo.com. Call up the box office if you want to check on tickets. That's at 419-246-8000. This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony, with generous support from the Rita Barber Kern Foundation. You can download episodes of our program as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us through your podcast app of choice, including Apple and Google Podcasts. Remember, you can check out all the upcoming events at the Symphony by visiting their website, that's toledosymphony.com, and their various social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find the TSO's streaming concerts online at stream.artstoledo.com. My thanks to Zach Vassar, Vanessa Gardner, Elaine Trudell, and our very special guest, Matthew Killam, the Community Outreach Director of the Metroparks. I'm Brad Cresswell. You've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab from FM 91.